Hello, greetings. Morning, afternoon, evening. You're still on to Austin again. And today is a wonderful Friday morning. And I'm reaching out to you live from Africa, precisely Nigeria. And I have come to give up another broadcast. It should be an attitude of a TBC billionaire to regularly broadcast and share the truth to as many that wants to partake of the truths. We are reviving the truths which the system of the elites has put down and trampled on their feet over a very long time. So today and for the next few days or possibly months, depending on the opportunity that we have on ground. I'm going to go back to time. I'm going to review a whole number of articles that has already been penned down by the administration of our Kringle Private Society. Now, I'm actually going back to time so that we can refresh our minds to understand the focus we are and how we can go forward in achieving it. There are several ways to impact in our Kringle society, one of which is helping to grow the community by recruiting. Also, one of the ways to grow the community is educating people because we are going our own way. And by going our own way, it means that we are building or we are charting out our own path. Now, if you're coming into my broadcast for the very first time, I would appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel if the content I give are valuable and you think that you will benefit from it or you have benefited from it. Now, you can also give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed my broadcast. Now, the title of my broadcast is a review of previous articles. Now, I want to refresh the mind of new members or refresh the mind of old members and put this understanding about what the Kringle Society stands for to new members who may not have had the opportunity of looking into the past because it's one thing as an intelligent person to look into the past and then after they have done so then they look into the future. We are going into the past for the next few days or weeks or months as the case may be, and then going forward we can see how we can merge the past, the present and the future together so that we can make the world a better place. All right, so I'll share my screen now and do well to. The very first article I'm going to look at is the first article that was put forth by the administration of our community. Now, if you look into my title, the title of this broadcast, it says a review of previous articles. Now, we are talking of the very, very first article. We are going to move from there down and things that do apply is what we'll look into. Things that do not apply, we'll set them aside. We're not looking into all the articles, but intelligently we'll look through it and then make sure that people understand. Now, it's already something that has been put forth. So we're not going to refer to the status quo as at then, but we'll refer to the present situation. We'll read the article and apply it to the present situation. Okay, so going forward, I'll share my screen. All right, my screen is now being shared. So quickly, I quickly go into this article. Now, this is our first blog, and this is the old public blog, and this public blog is wonderful, and it has so much to offer. So I do not know if this particular video is still active because most things that YouTube are doing now is that they are censoring a whole number of things. People try to put in something that will be of benefit to the masses and they censor it. But one thing you should look into is this article was put forth April 2nd, 2016. This was the very first article. We are going to look through so many of these articles and where it is relevant and it can apply, we are going to do so so that a number of us will understand what and how we started in our Kringle Private Society. Remember I said it is things that apply that we'll look into. If it doesn't apply, we'll just have to skip it. So we look into this. We're going to look into a whole number of very sensitive things, which so many of us may not be aware of. Yes, I'm actually going back to time, and I hope that those who watch this particular article will also understand and know where our foundation stands. All right, I'm not going to look into this video. All I'll just do is read this article, and the article is quite short. So I'll be as brief as possible because I believe that the old members are aware of it, but now the new members may not. So if you are an old member and you are watching this article, you could also refresh your memory because there are so many things that we'll read that will be very, very applicable to the present. All right, so let's go together. Now, have you ever suspected that the whole game of life is rigged? The whole game of life. Now, looking at the whole game of life, it simply means the from cradle, you wake up or you are born, you learn how to walk. From crawling, you learn how to walk. You are sent to school. Now, from where you go to school, the next thing is you go to another school. Now, from this side of life, it's called a cradle, a playgroup school, a group where you just intermingle and associate with your play groups or your colleagues. Well, I won't refer to them as colleagues, but then well, you can refer to them, but then as young children, you can't refer to them as colleagues. You could call them your classmates, something like that. Because most of the things that they do at that time is just come and recite alphabetical, your alphabet or your numbers 1 to 10 and all that. Now you grow from that level to a primary school, to a secondary school, to universities and all that. Now that is a system that every human being on earth usually goes through. Now, the administration is asking, have you ever suspected that the whole game of life is rigged? Even to the point of after you have finished from your school, you are employed. And from the system of cradle down to your point of employment, it is telling you, the administration is saying, have you ever suspected that this system is all rigged? From the point where they place priorities. And then while I was much younger, I did consider those who were much more intelligent in school as superior to myself. But then I found out that everybody must not be academically intelligent. Some people are intelligent in other areas, of which when they put them in the same terms and condition of, yeah, the same terms and condition in schools, they may not do as well as those who are academically intelligent. You understand what I mean? It applies to every walks of life. Everybody is good in one area or the other. But the elite built up a system and made it such that only those who fit well in their system, those who are well indoctrinated and can easily be indoctrinated, are those that will matter the most. The administration is asking, have you ever suspected that the whole game of life is rigged? Is a question that we are asking you in our community. Your suspicions are correct. Now, if you've ever suspected it that way, now the administration is saying that that suspicion is very true. Now, if you watch that video above, you will find out that it may be a short video, but it passes volumes of information. This video may be short, that is the video above. This video may be short, but it says a whole lot. Here is what it said. Now, 2016 is set to be a more unequal world than ever before. For the first time, the richest 1% of the population will enjoy a greater share of global wealth than the other 99%. Who are the 1%? The 1% are the 99% populace in our entire world who are struggling to get by the 1% of the wealth that the elite has given us. The elites are actually 1%. They have set up the system in such a way that they enjoy 99% of God's wealth that He has put upon the earth, and then allow the 99% to struggle with the 1% of the wealth. Now, this is 2016. We started this agenda, and we are still building our agenda. At this point, it is 2021. and we have built for 5 years. We are getting more obvious, we are getting more stronger, and I can categorically say that this year we are going in for global and mass adoption. We are setting up food subsidy centers. We are making sure that enough merchants will adopt our currency in partial payment for goods and services. But then we are going to set an example using these food subsidies that will be coming in. Beware, because by the end of this year, there are going to be a whole lot of changes and it will happen at the speed of light. So, if I would rephrase, I can actually still stand on the 2016 because it's an ongoing process. And as we rebuild the face of this earth, we are going to become more dominant. And at some point, to become so influential and globally recognized as a medium of exchange, standing out from the current elite system, standing out from the banking system, standing out from the government controlled system. So let this be at the back of our mind. Okay? Now going forward. Now this statement comes from the people that bring you the economists, and the economist is a magazine, and it is the elites that I think are the initiators of this magazine. So let's read. A publisher that caters for the 1% elites of the world. Now, this is actually something that these people said. I really do not understand why they came from that direction. But let's read by and understand. Now, if you are like most people, the content of this video makes you very upset. Please refer to the video and not out of jealousy, but because ripped off. Now, the way they have set up the system is such that they have inserted government should tax you so that they can maintain an economy because every individual will make a certain commitment from funds or salaries that are given to them. But you find out that over the years, money loses its value. And as it loses its value, same thing also applies. They are increasing the taxes. And as money becomes more and more worthless, you are getting less and less from what you are being paid. Now, that's one of the avenues that they've set up. And they already had this in perspective several years ago when they initiated this project. Another way they are ripping you off is through pension. Some people think pension is an excellent thing, and that when you retire from service, active service, you are placed on pension. Well, are you aware that when you put money and it accumulates, the purchasing power reduces, and at that point, you are also being stowed more. Your money, your benefits are being stolen, which many people do not know. Even putting your money in the banks is also something that is not advisable anymore, because keeping your money in the bank, that money loses value again and again. Why? Because money is fiat. Paper money, fiat, is designed to lose value over time. And they put it up in such a way that when it gets to the point of collapse, they reinvent the wheels, back it up by gold on a global scale, and seal the margin between the first world and the third world country. And then they set up their new world order. They have designed this system, but I want you to realize if you are in this community critical society, we are going to offset their plans. We are returning power back to the people. That's why it is something that you should be grateful to God for if you belong to this community. Okay? All right. So let's continue from where I stopped. It's not out of jealousy, but because this is so unfair. You are being ripped off, and not just in a financial sense. Your time, energy, and effort has been exploited. It seems like the evil people that set up the whole system are not even satisfied with what they already have. Seems like they won't stop spreading artificial scarcity until they also possess your soul too. And that's alarming because these people are in tandem with what the Antichrist intends to achieve in the book of Revelations, chapter 13. Read through that article. If you need further clarification, call my attention privately, send a message to me on the chat section of YouTube, and then we can engage. Terms and conditions also apply. Unfortunately, most people have literally been brainwashed into believing that scarcity is normal and acceptable. It's not. Now, these people has been brainwashed by listening to the conventional media. We all know what the media is. The likes of CNN, BBC, and then other news that are open to our local and an international scale. These people have been well brainwashed from generations to come to the point where they do not even think for themselves, but they allow the government and the media to think for them. One of the instances we are looking at is this recent scandemic, or should I call it genocidemic? I wouldn't want to mention the names. Who knows? This video could get to the point where it will have several numbers and people and the elite, the YouTubers may want to censor my video. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one that people are now presently being vaccinated about. I want you to understand that they are currently carrying about or going about a global depopulation agenda. Some years ago, about 100 years, they did the Spanish flu. I think that something similar, where several people in millions and close to billions died. They are reinventing that system, and people still do not learn from history. I really do not know how human beings do reason. But the truth is that these guys has brainwashed people to believe that a lie is the truth and that the truth is a lie. That God-given air should be censored. How would you put on a face mask and you say that you are supposed to breathe air? And what kind of air are you breathing? Are you aware that the particles that you are breathing in using that face mask could be detrimental to your health? Consider these things I have said. And if you have watched or you will watch this video, do well to share it. It may be an old article, but it has a new sense. It has a new spirit. It has something that is brand new. As you listen, they are old, but it has a new, it's an evergreen system. Read and understand, and then read my handwriting, read my actions and my inactions. As you listen to me, read my actions and my inactions. All right, let me continue. The most natural thing is abundance, and humanity is being robbed of all of their dreams and aspirations because they do not think about any other thing apart from taking care of themselves and their families. If they are able to take care of themselves and their families, they do not even have interest in looking after their brothers or their sisters' affairs. They are trying to mind their business because they hardly have enough to get by. They just have maybe less than enough, and possibly they borrow and pay back over time. The system is wicked. It's a wicked system. Okay? Now, can you relate to that? If by now you have no idea what I am talking about, then the elite have succeeded in your case in keeping you in the dark, completely unaware of what's really happening. I think it's so conspicuous, it's so obvious now that if you are in this world, the level of unrest should waken your consciousness, should awaken your consciousness to know that a whole lot is wrong. And I want you to be aware that there are a few set of people called the Committee of 300 that are masterminding this wickedness. I do not know if you are aware. If you are not, please be aware of it. Come into this Kringle Society. My links are below. If you want to know more, subscribe to my link, be a merchant or a member, whichever one that is okay by you. Subscribe to my link, come on board, call my attention. I am here to advise, to guide, supervise you to be sure that you wouldn't just be in the community to get informed. You are going to make a whole lot of returns on everything that you are doing with us in this community. Now, let's continue. Now, this is a very fine post here towards educating you. I really don't want to spend a lot of time talking about the problem. I would rather talk about the solution. Now, the solution is the billion coin. You can call it the billion coin, you can call it Kringle coins, you could call it the Kringle private society, you can call it an eleemosynary private society, sharing society, whichever. You can refer back to our Kringle cash under public notice, read through the content, read through our article of association, mission statement, and public notice. You see, the informations that are in the community are so deep. If you are not well informed, you will be deformed. The billion coin is the answer for the masses. It has been designed to be an easy and simple solution to lift the poor out of poverty in just a matter of a few short moons. Now, it's a factor of the mind. If you understand how the system works, then in a few short moons, yeah, in a matter of, let's say, a month, 2 months, or let's be realistic, about 42 months should suffice. If you are diligent and you are persistent, in 42 months, you should be living a life of abundance. Now, that's the truth. But then you are the one that will decide. If you say it's not possible, you are right. If you say it's possible, you are also right. So, within a few short months. Now, you may not consider yourselves to be poor right now. But let's face it, you are not a billionaire, right? Would you like to be a billionaire? Aha. Now that strikes people. That will strike you because people say, being a billionaire, that's too big. And it's only for the white heart. It's only for the silver spoon. It's only for those who were born into it. It's for those big people, those the queens and all that. Well, I want you to understand that you are a subject. You are under the influence of their mind control. I want you to know that the system, the world was created in abundance. You are actually an abundant, supposed to be an abundant thinker. You are supposed to be a billionaire, but it's your mind that limits you. Take it off your head. Believe everything is possible because belief supersedes knowledge. Knowledge means based on the present prevailing situation, it's not possible, but your mind has the power to believe. Your mind creates. As you believe it's possible, you begin to see things that will make it a reality. So, call yourself a billionaire, you become a billionaire. Work towards it. Defend what you believe by actions, and you'll become a billionaire. Your mind is powerful. Most would immediately say no to that question. The answer, the one, and once again, that will be another example of the mind control and conditioning you are under. I've actually said this already. The truth is, you don't need a billion to be happy. But if you had a billion, you would have the power to also make a lot of people very happy. Now, the most important thing I want us to say or to understand here in this broadcast is that in our private community, which would have no other counterpart for the next forever generations, is that we are going to have 1 million billionaires and 1 billion millionaires. Let me repeat. We are going to have 1 million billionaires and 1 billion millionaires. Now, that will sound funny. It will sound funny because people still do not understand the concept of our friendly society. And I want you to understand that before the world will embrace us to a large extent, we have to complete our membership as a billionaire or as billion active, 1 billion active members. When we have finished that, our membership count will stop. Now, you can be a billionaire and it would not be more than 1 million people across the world. So, we being people that would influence the world on a global scale, the opportunities or vacancies or slots that will be available to be a billionaire will be 1 billion, just 1 billion, and that will be it. At some point, if you uphold your integrity as a billionaire, you are going to have a global influence that will outlast your generation. You will continue to have that influence provided your knowledge. What gives you influence is knowledge. Knowledge based systems. When you have the right knowledge, you will act accordingly, and then with that, you will influence the world for good. We are not raising people who are disorganized or who are not temperate, who are not justice oriented. We are raising the right minds that would make this world a better place. So the billionaires that we are raising will not be part of those that will fund prostitution or that will fund pedophilias or that will fund terror and crime. We are raising billionaires that will literally build this world and bring heaven down to earth by making this place beautiful. Well, billionaires that will fund and help the world to sponsor the motherless babies to school, the ones that do not have what it takes to take care of themselves. Those who need ideas or who has ideas and need funds, we will sponsor it. Those that are in the medical fields that are looking for how to stop these incurable diseases, we will sponsor it. Billionaires that wants to make sure that the righteousness prevails and fills the earth. These are the kind of billionaires. Are you someone that is passionate about making this world a better place? Then this clarion call is for you. Subscribe to that link. Just check it below. Become a part of us. Reach out to me on WhatsApp. We can make this world a better place. You should have a burning sensation in your heart as you listen to me. If this thing is your call, then you will feel it. I am calling upon you. Come, let's build together. All right, let's continue. Now, how can we return the world to a state of abundance and prosperity? We have to change everyone's mind. Wow, this is where the work is. We have to change everyone's mind. And that's why we broadcasters are there to speak out the truth, and consistently keep speaking out the truth. We keep repeating at some point, not consistently, but we model and remodel to make sure that the truth is spoken. And the truth, to be surprised, to my surprise and your surprise, the truth is new every morning. That's it. I can see the truth as something inspired by the Almighty God. And as you keep speaking it every morning, it's fresh, it's new. It's like seeing the new day every day. So we have to change everyone's mind. It's the only way. When everyone believes in abundance and prosperity for all, it's when it will happen. And I tell you that this will happen shortly. It's not going to take forever. It's not going to take another 20 years or so. It's going to be much less because we are already here for 5 years. And shortly this year, we are going for global adoption. And by the end of next year or thereabout, we'll have finished our membership of 1 billion. And then we are now ready to take the world by storm. Be in the better category, be in the most privileged category. That is the billionaire category. But I want you to know you would ultimately decide. All right? Now, there are many info wars out there doing the best they can to spread awareness, but not much has changed for the better, right? I think so. Motivating people to wake up is not an easy thing to do. Perhaps if there were $1 billion incentives to wake up to a good life, maybe that will work. And that is why we have set up this system. Now, we are using a virtual medium of exchange called Kringle Coins, similar to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the first cryptocurrency, and we are grateful to God for the emergence of Bitcoins. But we are superior because we are people based. We are backed up by people. We are not backed up by gold. We are not we are not backed up by gold. We are not pegged to gold value, but we are measured in gold, grains of gold. So they are quite similar, but they are not the same. Now, if you use the wrong vocabulary or the wrong word, then that means you are trespassing. You are crisscrossing into the public domain. That's why we are telling you that we are measuring our value in grains of gold, not backed up or pegged. Please take note of that clause that I'm using. Okay, so we are we are reinventing a revolution. No, we are creating a revolution. We are reinventing the wheels that the elite has done, and ours is a better one. So let's continue. Well, the billion coin begins that experiment. I can say this is no more an experiment. It's actually succeeded. It's a project that has succeeded because the world has seen it. And in this present time, the Kringle Private Society is in what you call a self-building system. It is now supporting itself. The original intent was to survive and be a self-sustaining system. At this point, when you go into the Kringle Cash under Core Team, you'll find out that it is now a self-sustaining system. Okay? All right. So it's no more an experiment. Just beware. All you need all you need potentially is just one TBC coin to someday become a billionaire. Well, at this point, the narrative has changed. If you're a billionaire and you have about one TBC, congratulations. But now we are of the category of people that wants to have several coins, TBC coins, because we want to help not just states, we want to help nations. And a whole lot has happened between this time that this article was written to this point. We now have the core team, where the bulk of the coins will reside in the hands of the core team. These people will be those that will set up new structures, and in a committee bonded concept, we are going to change the world using rotator fundings and TBC coins. Now refer back to the present state, which is our new private blog under our Kringle Cash for further information. All right, because that is the highest the price will ever go for this coin based on the software formula driving the price of it. You are very fortunate if you have found this when TBC coin was only about a penny, over, even though it's not far above a penny now, you can still benefit just by making a subscription fee payment, either monthly or yearly. You are given sufficient rewards, both in Kringle coins, yeah, in Kringle coins. And if you are an old member or a new member who recruits, you are paid also in Bitcoin. Now, in Bitcoin Cash, depending on what subscription fee or what subscription level you have subscribed for. It's best to go in for the billionaire level because that's where you get the best and the most benefits. I'm rounding off. See how time flies. Now, going forward, no matter what you paid for your TBC coins, you are in a position to become very wealthy over time. Just owning these TBC coins is enough. Sorry for the distraction. Let me repeat. No matter what you paid for your TBC coins, you are in a position to become very wealthy over time. Now, let me actually talk about this briefly. There are old members who are in the community and they paid a substantial amount for TBC during the early days. And possibly they have this entitlement mentality, thinking that TBC is their own. I want you to be aware TBC is not your own. TBC belongs to our private society. It's not anyone's own. TBC, you are holding TBC as a steward of our Kringle private society. If you understand what steward means you are a custodian over these coins. You are a caretaker over these coins. In actuality, you are coming to this world, you are a caretaker over everything God places in your control, which you will give account at some point. So, whether you paid big amount or small amount, it really doesn't matter. What matters is don't lose your coins. And the only requirement to hold on to those coins is making sure you are making a monthly subscription fee on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis. You can also pay for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months if you want. So you choose how you want to go about it. But the bottom line is you have the potential of being crazy wealthy in the billionaire position because possibly you met the right timing. Okay, so let's continue. Just owning these TBC coins is not enough to become wealthy. Just owning these TBC coins is not enough to become wealthy. Wow. So what is it that will matter now to make you wealthy? Let's find out. The truth is education is required to become wealthy. Aha. This is very sweet. Education. Now I liken those who have TBC coins without education as children with AK-47, right, or with a very mark a mark rifle or something like that, a very destructive weapon, or like a mine, or like a bomb. You do not know what it is, but if you detonate it and throw it, people will die. TBC is going to be a world changer. TBC coins. And without the proper education, if you do not have it well and overflow and allow it to overflow in your mind, in your consciousness and subconsciousness, there are rules, there are do's and there are don'ts in our community. If you do not have the right understanding to abide by these rules, I want you to understand that there is every possibility that you'll be led astray. You would assume things that are not. So that's why education comes first. In fact, education comes first before becoming a member or before having TBC. Yeah, you can be a member, but then get educated. That will now expose you to now deciding why. Of course, the system is set up that when you come into the community, you are trained first. Now, when you go to the member helper section under the Kringle Cash, you see where you are trained. In fact, this information I'm giving out now is becoming very fresh, very sweet. If you are listening to it, you will see that though it's an old article, the thing is lining up and it's making a whole lot of sense. Now, the truth is education is required to become wealthy. wealthy. And that is what this section of the website is dedicated to deliver to you at no additional cost. Even though you are an unpaid member in the Gringo Cash, you can still access our new private blog for free. It is still at no cost. Whether you are a paid or no paid member, you can still access it. There are some things you can still access, but there are limited functionalities if you are an unpaid member. So whether it's the old proper public blog or the new private blog, the truth is you can enjoy informations at no cost. But I think it's more beneficial and more reasonable to be an active member, because no billionaire was ever made by sitting idle and doing nothing. Now let's continue. But if you don't take the time needed to get this education, then you'll be doomed to make the mistakes that comes from being uneducated, which is what I earlier on referred to as holding on a bomb without knowing what it can do, and then you can detonate it, and it blows and kills you and everyone around you. People that are funding wars and are doing all those things is because the resources given to them are being mismanaged, and it's in the hands of the wrong people. As the community grows, we will right a whole lot of wrongs and things which should be done and will be corrected and be put into the right perspective. Wealthy people are not lazy, but a lot of poor people are very lazy. And it's unfortunate that the old members are people who got money in God knows how they went about it, but they do not want to make any effort, not even to raise their hand or tell someone about it. Do you know that if you tell someone about the Kringle Society, you are working, you are helping the community to grow? At least you are making them, even though they don't come in, they have this knowledge that there is this potential currency that they could be paid in the nearest future. That's enough education. So decide to do something at least. So it's up to you. Do you truly want to be wealthy, or you or are okay just the way you are? I want you to understand that nothing on earth is as it is. It's actually on a steady state of flux. And the elite system has been designed such that remaining in the fiat system means you will nosedive and you will crash. All your finance, everything you have will crash, because that's how they program the system. If you can recall the devastation of 2008 economic crisis, now that's a tip of the iceberg. 2020 something, I do not know when they will go about this collapse, but anything you think you've ever had is going to also vanish away as they reinvent their own will and set up a new world order. Do not fall victim to that. Come and get yourself protected by belonging to our Kringle Private Society. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. Now I'm on the um, last clause, or yeah, last statement, last paragraph. Now, is there a voice inside you that says you do have a lot to offer? Does it say that you do have an unfulfilled purpose? It is questioning you, it's asking you. Now, we as the community are asking you, what do you think? Do you think you have a dream of having so many things and then controlling so many things? Being a CEO and helping to make this world a better place, or possibly being a philanthropist just to see that people are happy? Are you hoping to be someone that will be like a life giver? That's a question we are asking. We are not people that are evil or bad. We are fighting a good cause, and we are using our own medium of exchange that wants to promote godliness across the world. Where do you want to belong? We are asking you a question, and I want you to retrospect and give us the answer. You could give us an answer in silence, but you could decide. It's a rhetoric question. You don't need to write it down to us, but think through and decide, because this is a worthy cause and you cannot compromise it for anything. Does it say that does it say that you better hurry? A wasted life is a shame. And so many people has lived their life in a shame. Yeah, they may have gotten so many results per se, maybe academic excellence and all that. But looking at it, you find out that in their later days, they can't show anything for it, because the elite has designed it in such a way that they suck up all your juice during your young years and then drop you like a waste during your old age and place you under a very little pension that will scarcely take care of you until you die of one sickness or the other. Are you not tired of how those systems has been. We are calling you to come into a life that is built on the principle of abundance and help to affect your future generations to come. Okay? A wasted life is a shame. You do matter. Never let anyone steal your dreams from you. Ever. Live free. Live free. Live good and take charge of your own life and make it meaningful. I hope all of your dreams come true. And I hope that the Kringle Private Society, using the instrument called the Billion Coin, gives you the extra means to make it happen. I have finished this article. Remember, I said that I'm going to go through a whole lot of articles. I am going back to the days of old. And as I do so, I am attaching or I am fixing the new value that we are experiencing in the community with these old articles. And like I have always been saying, that truth is new. Now, I believe that some of you that are listening to this article, it would feel fresh in your hearts. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Give me a thumbs up if you haven't. If you like this article, please share it to your friends and your loved ones. Though it's an old article, I believe it will pass on a message to you. All right, I'll stop at this point. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate. Now it's time to ignore people who do not have substance, people who only criticize, people who are empty and not knowing their left from their right. In a short while, they shall be placed where they belong. Only those who do not understand who they are. You are supposed to be a life giver, but you choose to be empty. Well, it's a choice you made. All right, till I come your way again some other time. Cheers and do have a wonderful day. God bless you all.